Negative. Charge aligning matrix field. Positive. Coordinates reached, Commander.
Activate the Sade field.
Activations of multidimensional engines.
Launch communications probe.
Power levels to maximum.
Activate all dimensional levels of communication.
Communication established.
The voice you hear is known as Bob. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. This is the last slave planet in the galaxy. Under all agreements, under all rights, under galactic law, we now proclaim this planet free. The descension of the true human consciousness has begun.
Energizing Shambhala diamonds.
The men, women, and children of this planet are now set free.
Grid fields activated.
You have already reached
Activate Shambhala diamond.
critical mass.
Integration onto microcosm. Expanding linear space.
Prepare for landing.
Free space activation. Landing. Caution. All crew members to station. This is the Starship Bob. We are landing.
Five, four.
Caution.
Shite. It's all fucking shite, I tell you.
Hey, get off. Snicking our airtime. Did you catch that then? See him, that Patrick, trying to jump on. He got on the stream then for a minute, shouting at us and stuff. God.
Really?
Did you hear him?
Yeah.
Darkcity show, we're back. We're a bit early. I'll give you that. Bobsbackyard.
Okay.
At Skype, and there's numbers. Right, it's 2980298. Right, you put numbers in front of them numbers, and you'll find it. If you are out there, right, and you love Darkcity Radio, right, we love you too, right. We love everybody, even if you kind of throw rocks at us, we love you for that. But listen, I've just got to point out, right, that servers haven't got personalities. Okay, you can't bull them up. You can't ask them to be your friend. You can't actually, these are mechanical servers. I'm not talking about the good people in our society who choose to serve one another. Alright? Not going down that rabbit hole. Okay? Talking about servers. So please, don't ask them for dates. Alright? Don't ask it for a date. It can't take you out. Alright? It hasn't got a political persuasion. And it really doesn't give two hoots on your opinion. It treats you like anybody else. Just the same as anybody else. It has got no favouritism, not at all. Anyway, on the note of servers, my little bit of news, we fixed it. It works. I've abandoned Linux for the time being, because I wanted to get a stable platform, which didn't involve me sitting in this chair for 26 and a half hours a day. And we've done that, and we tested it today, and that's been real good fun. And some things come out of the diversities or the pressures, or you used the word, what was that? Challenges, you see. The challenges. You can make them as big as you want. When you're actually confronted. I met a couple today, I'm not going to talk about them, but they've been confronted by a massive challenge in their life. a huge challenge. And you can see what the goodness that's coming out of that diversity that they face at this moment in time. And we've done that on more than one occasion here at Darkcity. You know, we've come across someone and it's gone, oh no, that's pants. It's pants. It's proper, too big, hanging off your backside. Not got a belt. You're waiting at the bus stop and it's raining pants, you know. It's just not good. But we pushed through. We pushed through it. Now I know that with a lot of techniques, you see, about healing, what people call healing, well, you know, releasing stuff from your body you don't really need anymore. That's what it's really about. And breathing. And we noticed that today as well. So I've had some real good, inspired little moments, me, today. And then I thought Deep was on in a fortnight. Thought it was next month. I didn't think of this month. I've looked at it all backwards, the dates, on the list that had been given us. And I made a mistake. And I was dead nervous. It's the first time, right, I've come on and done any of this stuff, and I was dead nervous. I noticed that I'd said one thing and then done another, and I was dead nervous, and that's down at that date, That's down at that date. I got nervous at date. Why would I get nervous at date? How are you dead with?
Superstar.
Yeah, but I don't know who did it. I've seen a couple of his videos, and the guy you see on the video, right, is a manic, he's proper man. Illuminati, bag of shit, rangeristic, blah, 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 New Hildar, ha, 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 Daz washing powder, bollocks, new beer, let's have some new beer. He's brilliant, right? And he's brilliant. I've got a little bit of that inside me. That's like my, you know, because he mentioned about waking up, didn't he, right? Well, I've not woken up. Well, I did, you know, just for a brief fucking peep. I went, fuck that! Straight back to sleep again. Delusionary world, having a great time. And it's brilliant. He's brilliant. You see, I tried to wake up again. Oh, what's happening? It's a bag of shit. Don't bother about it. Get on with it. Enjoy it. Do what you're doing. We have been woken up, you could say, right, to certain things. You know, but we don't really walk up to it. You know, you're just noticing shit that people noticed shit years before. You're not seeing anything different. There's not, the truth movement. We'll all go out in the truth movement and we'll gather together around the truth and then we'll overthrow these people we don't like. We don't like these people. Let's listen to form another group then to overthrow the people in the group that we form because it's become a big... It's stupid! So I've got a bit of deek in me. I can't help it. You know, it is. It's just loony, isn't it? It's loony, crazy, bonkers, fucking shite. You know what I mean? It is. And I look round in the world, mate, right? I look around in the world, and that loony bonkers shack was all the way up to, right? Some other loony bloke, right, flying along, right, with his remote control PlayStation shit, right, with one of them drones bombing innocent people. And I'm worrying about whether I can get a server sorted out for Dom Show when it starts tonight. Do you know what I mean? Are you with me? Are you actually with me with this? It's just preposterous nature we have. That's why I kind of freely admit I'm not true for me. I'm not true. I ain't got a clue what's going on. I ain't got a clue. I tell you what, if I went looking for truth, mate, I wouldn't be looking out there for it. I wouldn't be listening to my voice now. I wouldn't be listening to my voice now thinking, oh, yeah, that Bob knows the truth, bollocks. You're eluding yourself. Bag of shit. As far as I'm concerned, of course. If you're going to find your truth, it lies within. Not out there. You don't find it out there, it lies within. So welcome to the Dark City, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Dark City. That's what lies within. You see, the whole scenario with the Dark City and the graphics and look at it, you can look at it. I'm letting a little bit of this out now, you know, we're supposed to be launching in 2 days' time. It's reflective. When you come into the city, you speak of yourself, you don't speak of others. I mean, perhaps we should have told everybody this when we first started. Well, there is nobody else out here. Your words are about you. You know, and that's what inspired me tonight, Deke. You know, his words, you know, I mean, you know, he said, well, I don't talk about other people's campaigns. I don't know how he worded it. It was quite funny. But yeah, well, I'm the same. I'm not really interested in speaking of other people's campaigns. But there you go. Deke did say about something about the Queen, didn't he, or something? And now we've got people at my door hanging on the door. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. We've just got people who've forgotten we're live on air at this time of night and come banging, ringing your doorbell and shouting and stuff, as you can hear, because, you know, you explain things to these people and then they just fucking ignore you! See what I mean? We live in a crazy world. Anyway, that's my rant. You see, that's my rant. People get informed, they come in and shout. Anyway, Was it good? Did you enjoy my rant this evening? Did I want to rant?
Well, what you wanted to say, Paul, was...
Did I want to say something else? Tell me, Kelly. Tell me.
What you wanted to say was the contrast between Deke on his YouTube videos, Manic Deke.
You know that? I knew you were here for a reason. I knew you turned. She said she turned up to help, and I thought, what's she doing? And sure enough, she's helped. She helped straight away. It is right, that manic side, crazy, loony bloke. And we hear him on Darkcity Radio. We hear him on the Darkcity Radio. And I'm going to throw some of it. You don't have to talk to one another while we're talking on the microphone. You see what I mean? Crazy world we live in, isn't it? All at once. We can do it. We can do it. So yeah, that manic, crazy lunatic, off his head, you know, and you watch his videos, it was hard for me. I'm like, who's this dude? Who's this guy here? Listen to his sense, not nonsense, sense, good, solid sense about what we can, you know, what we should and shouldn't do. And most of all, I think what sits with me now is that difference in character that I'm going to throw it over to you out there because QRM here. But you know that difference in the character, you know. And above all else, enjoy yourself. Have some good fun. Enjoy it. It is brief. It is brief. You know. Put a lot of hours in me the last couple of days, and I've noticed that. How brief it is. You can have a few clicks with a few people. It makes all the change. Some beautiful messages today. You know. Beautiful messages, and I think I'm all right, me. Don't get it wrong. I felt like I was letting people down, and I realised that no, I'm not. There's only one person here I can let down. That's me. That's me. And it's my responsibility here, while I'm here on Earth, to myself, to fulfil this life to the best of my ability. So thanks to you all out there for showing me that, because I wouldn't have got all that if it weren't for you lot. Bang on. Right, come on. There's one of you lot in there now, come on. You're all big and strong and powerful and mightied up now with server access and power and control to hit the jingle.
Well, I'd like to say hello to the server. Welcome back, server. What an illustrious history you have. So chapter 1, I think, would have to go to the server. Yes, so Mr. Linux and all you gods out there, computer people. Hello, server, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Darkcity show. Hello, Dawn, and I don't know who CEO is, but
hello, Susan.
Hi to Prajna, hi Kelly, hi Stevie, and hi Paul, and hello to you people out there listening into Darkcity Radio. Oh, and Suda, hi dear.
Hello, Susan. Hope you're well.
What was that?
Said I hope you're well.
Oh, indeed I am. Yeah, the sun's shining. It's Friday morning. So far, all is good. All is well. It's good to be back. Hello.
Here is dark. So it was a sunny morning this morning. Strange day. I went to court for the first time in years. Watched somebody defend himself. He kind of got stitched over a little bit. We gave him a choice to either accept 3 points for speeding, or he was going to get 6 points and a bigger fine for failure to give information. And so she said that she couldn't say that he was speeding, so we gave him 6 points and bigger fine. So it's a shame, really.
It's Callie. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Callie.
Hi, Callie.
Paul away from the computer bank here because the guy just needs to sit down and chill out for a bit. So I thought I'd sit and get in control of the mic.
Well done, Kelly. What
deep subject? I mean, what do we want to talk about tonight? What do the listeners want to hear us talking about tonight? And do they actually want to get on and talk about it with us? I'm going to have a little look in the chat box while you discuss that amongst yourselves.
We're casting
So how
the net
are you doing,
wide
Dawn?
open.
Pardon?
I said we were casting the net wide open for any topics, any pressing topics, any issues that you have. Please call in.
Issues. We shall discuss issues and topics.
Yes, interesting.
Right. What have you got on the list, Dawn? What's on the list of issues at the top of the list? What is it? What does it say?
Actually, I'm going to bring up that I did reschedule my interview with Alexander Penley. Due to unforeseen circumstances, he will not be on my show this Sunday night, leaving a free slot. So, if anybody out there would like to be a guest on my show, then contact Dawn Darkcity on Facebook, or you can contact the page Dark City Radio, and you'll get me there. Or you can contact my YouTube, Dark City Dawn. Or you can contact the YouTube for all of us, Dark City Radio.
Sorry about that. I got distracted because Paul, I mean, he's really, really professional most of the time. But just because he's been sent away from the mic, he was talking to me. No, he was guiding me. So there are a couple of posts in the chat room from Ismi. He's saying Operation Gladio, full 1992 documentary on BBC. It's http://www. Oh, it's a YouTube. Why couldn't you just say that? Yeah, there's a YouTube link. So youtube.com/what? W-A-T, a watch question. I'm not very good at this, am I?
If you type Gladio Full, into YouTube, it's a documentary from 1992, BBC on Gladio.
All right.
So they'll get it from that. And get them into the chat. Get them into the chat. You can tell people if they want to see these links, then they can go to the website on the main page, www.darkcityradio.com.
Yeah.
Click the big chat button.
Yeah.
And then they'll be in the chat room and they can join in. Because a lot of it you don't get. There's a lot of feedback in chat that you don't get.
Yeah, and if you want to actually put some questions to anyone that's around here, or you want to suggest a topic for discussion, jump into the chat on darkcityradio.com. And do that, and don't forget that you can Skype in and you can call in as well on the numbers, which will be posted in the chat shortly and recited by Paul shortly. And in fact now
0044
0044
161
161
298
298
0 298
298.
The mirror. There was an echo. So if you take off the 0044 and add a 0, because that's the prefix for the UK, you get 0161
298 0298.
She's on a roll.
He's dancing. Right, and I am gonna let's see who have we actually got in Skype. I can't see people's names. Have we got Commonly Dom around? No. Nyrees. Oh, Nyrees, our permaculture lady.
Hello.
Hello, love.
How are you? You alright?
I'm very well, thank you, yeah. I don't know why the hell I sat myself in this chair. I must be mad.
Because you're now hosting the Dark City Show.
Because what?
You're now hosting the Dark City Show.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know why I did that to myself. That's what I was saying.
I'll give you a good tip, right? Introduce Nyrees to someone in the room that she doesn't know, like Susan. I don't think she's met Susan. Or because Dawn, I don't think, Dawn knows Nyrees dead well. See, that's the thing with Dawn. Okay. Dawn's a real good, because she knows everybody.
Yeah.
You can get her to introduce. Oh, Dawn, do you know Susan? Oh, do you not know Susan?
The guy leads by following, It's a Taoist thing.
You don't have to be as camp as that about it.
Okay, well, I'm going to actually take that suggestion. I'm going to introduce Nyrees to Susan. Susan in Australia, with that beautiful, beautiful accent as well. Say hello to each other. Nyrees is into permaculture, by the way, if you need something to get you started.
Yes, I like mud.
Hello, Nyrees.
Hello, Susan. Yes. I'm very
Hi,
into
how
mud.
are you doing? Permaculture.
Oh, I'm good, yes. So I've been up to the allotment today. It's quite nice, and then had snow.
Ashton allotment? Oh, you're allotment?
No, I'm in Birmingham. It's like in the middle. We're in the middle.
Oh, brilliant. So you've got your own allotment.
Yeah.
How long have you had your allotment for?
I've had my allotment for about 2 years, and then I'm just in the process of trying to get as many people to grow as possible. So we've got a patch on a community allotment that we're developing, like an edible forest garden, and then I'm working with a few other groups, just getting them to grow, basically.
Nyrees.
It's nice.
Yes, hello.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Saturday, you had an event.
I did, yes.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yes, it was good. Yeah. Well, it was a council arranged thing, but that's the it just was. But there was loads of people there. It was great. It was at the Botanical Gardens, the Birmingham Botanical Gardens, which is beautiful. Really, really nice. They've got some lovely glass houses with cacti in and jungle. It's really nice. And there were loads of people there. Loads of people from different groups. We got totally cleaned out of our seed bank. Everyone loved that. So
that must have went well.
Yeah, it was good. And there's just loads of interesting people. There just seems to be more and more people that do want to talk about this stuff. So,
Yeah, there's definitely a market out there for it. I mean, market's probably not the best word for it, but there's definitely a lot of people that are really interested, as you say, and wanting to learn about it and find ways how they can sustain themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I think more and more people are realising just how shit the food in the supermarket is as well. So, you can't rely on the veg there. So you're better. There was a thing online. I can't remember who posted that now about organic vegetables and how there's certain things legally they're allowed to do to organic vegetables that they sell commercially now. So even they've got things in you might not necessarily want to consume.
Yeah, I did see something about that recently. How they're still spraying antibiotics on apples.
Yeah, that was it, Dawn. Yeah,
organic apples supposed to be inverted commas.
I know. So you're best off growing it yourself.
Yeah, at least then you know where it's coming from.
Exactly. Yeah. So well, we've got another seed event this. Oh God, when's that? Honestly, I'm all over the place. I've had to start writing everything down, or I'd never remember everything. Yeah, I'm doing a seed event on Saturday. So that's right in the community. So I'm hoping loads of people will come out for that and want to start community
and read your seed bank again.
I know, yeah. Well, fortunately, I've got a massive stockpile of totally unrealistic amount of seeds I was going to be able to plant myself. So I've got a few there. Well, I put this is it. I put a call out, and I've been receiving seeds in the post. Which, how cool is that?
Excellent.
It's amusing the postman as well. Just keeps knocking the door with these little packages. Ooh, more seeds.
It's all spiralling for you now.
It is.
Ever since you came on my show.
It is. Well, it is. Yeah. It's all going uphill from there, Dawn. I've put the word out in the post.
You're on show now.
I know.
Go you.
I haven't quite sorted out anyone to come on, but it's one of them. I think, like you guys were talking about before, people are sort of saying they want to come on, and then when you push the point, everyone goes quiet. So, but I have got a bit of a coup because I I don't know if there's anyone that's familiar with him, but Patrick Whitefield, who's quite a big guy in the permaculture circles, he's agreed to come on. So, yeah, he's a really knowledgeable guy. He sort of studied agriculture in his early years, and I think I put a link onto him because he works from Raglan's Lane Farm. But I'm also doing an online sustainable land use course within. We have Skype calls and stuff. So I put the word out on. We've got a little forum on that site as well. And straight away he came back and said he'd come on and talk. So he's definitely worth listening to. So that'll be exciting. So I just need to talk to someone this week, and I've got a potential person, but now they're not answering my messages, so we'll have to see. But there should be quite a few good people lined up. The word's gone out along the grapevine, so.
Yeah, and can you just, for the listeners, can you just reiterate when's your show going to be exactly? It's Friday, isn't it?
Yes.
What time?
Friday, 9 till 10. Yeah, GMT.
And it's
excellent.
covering...
So that's one.
Sorry, go on, Dawn.
I was just going to say that's one Wales worth tuning into.
Well, yeah. It's one of the most important topics of the day, I think, food independence. We need to break away from the supermarkets because we can't buy, they don't even store actual food. So, food independence. If we can't feed ourselves and we don't stay healthy, we've got no resources to actually move forward and create the kind of world that we actually want to live in. You know?
Definitely, yeah. And it's kind of breaking away from those things that people are really addicted to, you know, like sugar. And I mean, they're all luxury items, really, sugar and coffee, and, you know, because they will go sooner or later because they're unsustainable, sort of socially as well as environmentally, you know, so.
Just wanted to put a little bit of a shout out. One, I never sleep, but Robohippy's trying to start wicked rumours about me in chat. And the second one, at least I've always got one eye open. And I heard,
you just blew her cover.
No, the point I did want to make really is Ashton-under-Lyne Market Ground. This is a market ground that's burnt down a number of years back. It's been rebuilt. A lot of the traders, they struggled. They really did. They've invested thousands of pounds of fiat currency, but also in their energy and time into the businesses. The council are enforcing a 3-month contract on them now. So the stability at best will be 3 months. The council can contract that. They are starting to fight against it. They're doing the best to get together. I have been given a little bit of privy information on it from the people who are involved. But yeah, I just wanted people to mention that it is an old market ground. You know, it's been there years. It really has, longer than I've been around. And those are local. The majority of them, if they're not bringing goods that are local, you know, you get plastic goods from Taiwan, like you get in any other market. But you're also getting fruits and vegetables and sausages and bacon, and they are local people living in the local area, bringing local produce, a lot of it, to local people. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm off some crazy set, you know, filled up in Hadfield. I don't, where I'm only going to deal with local people. But they do need us support. They really do. Another reason, you know, food independence, brilliant, but we can't all do that. Support your local traders and local markets. And if you've got any doubt, do my challenge. Go to Ashton-under-Lyne. You can buy dry cured bacon and sausage, better quality, a lot better quality, cheaper than you can in Asda. It's cheaper, it's better, and you're supporting your community. Ashton-under-Lyne Market, give it a shot.
Well, one way to actually support that particular community, I think, is to inform them what has recently been uncovered by the Spaniard. I know that myself, Prajna, and Paul has seen this recent video. And the Spaniard is basically, the guy is a student of law, a lay student of law, and he is putting some shit hot stuff on YouTube at the moment. And he's discovered or uncovered the liabilities of the people of a county are and become the liabilities of the council of that county. Goodbye, Steve. Lovely to see you, hon. That's Stevie just leaving. They become the rights, duties and responsibilities of the county council. Now, that particular law, it's from 1888, if memory serves, and it has not been repealed. But you will have to go to El Spaniardo, the Spaniard's YouTube channel, to get the detailed information about that as well. But that is actually solid gold for us all, actually. So, and that's me. That's my little... Anybody in the room want to jump in?
White Rabbit is the YouTube channel for El Spaniardo, and there's a heap load of information in there, piles and piles of it.
Yeah, loads and loads. And he's making some fantastic phone calls and uploading them at the moment. Phone calls during which he actually asks relevant authorities, if you like. I don't particularly like the word, but, you know, relevant bods in the relevant organisations about the relevant legislation and legislation that he's uncovering, and he's challenging their position. Not in any kind of a nasty way, I have to add. He recognises that these are just people doing a job, you know, and some of them believe in what they're doing and some of them maybe less so. And he treats each one as a human, you know. It's an individual interaction. So there's not.
Well, that's right, Kelly. You know, it's the end game. What is the end game that one wishes to achieve? So he obviously has his end game, and you know, that is to create no harm or loss as best as one can. Good listening. Thank you, Kelly. Take it away.
I think I'm done, but thank you, Susan.
I could tell you a bit more about Simon. Simon used to be a banker himself, and he was a bit surprised after he left banking to discover quite what big sham it was, because he wasn't taught any of this stuff at banker school, as it were. You know, as a bank manager, even he didn't know an awful lot about the way that money worked or anything, and it rather blew his mind to find out. And now, of course, having stumbled over this lovely statement that says all the liabilities of the people of the county become the liabilities and responsibilities of the council of that county, he's then got onto various offices and phoned them up and said, right, well, now that I've discovered this law, you know, I'd like you to take over all my responsibilities, and I'd just like you to explain to me the procedure so that I get it right and you happily take over all my liabilities. And they said, well, what do you mean by liabilities? He said, you know, all the things like tax charges and fines and all that kind of thing.
Bills. You
know, bills and so on. So if you haven't come across Simon the Spaniard yet, do check him out. He's well worth it.
His favourite is the pets he likes to call most frequently are debt collectors. I think that's where he began his law study, actually, quite possibly. And but he's gone down many rabbit holes. So yeah, White Rabbit on YouTube.
And then if you're interested in what's happening in the world of evictions, there's all the stuff that Loz and Co are doing as well. There are evictions that have been halted all over the country, really. And in fact, all over the world, things are changing because people are saying, no, you ain't going to evict us out of our houses over corrupt contracts and corrupt bank deals and all that kind of thing. So in America, thousands of people are getting all their mortgages thrown out because when you understand what's happening in the world of all this financing and so on, it will blow your mind and it sets you free. What sets you free is the fact that all these buggers are lawless. If the police, as soon as the police don't follow the rules, why do you have any responsibility to follow the rules? You don't. You have to follow your heart then. This is what being morally mature is all about. And if you want to study that, you can look into a guy called Lawrence Kohlberg, who studied moral development in children. In fact, not just in children, he followed it all the way through and came up with 6 different stages of moral development. And the very highest of those is the stage that's represented by a statement along the lines that if the law doesn't serve you, then you shouldn't serve the law. If something is morally repugnant to you, then it doesn't matter what the law says about it, you should follow your conscience. So that's
correct. That's correct. And do not understand any contract. I understand no contract. Thank you. Yep.
And that actually brings us into the issue of jury nullification as well. It's a little known fact, although it's becoming more widely known by the minute, that a jury, if there's no victim to a supposed crime, can actually find, even if the person has done the act, can actually still find them not guilty, which nullifies the prosecution.
The judge will try and argue otherwise. I mean, the judge will do everything he can to convince the jury that he decides issues of law and they decide issues of fact. But actually, he's not telling you the facts there. The first thing the jury needs to judge is the judge himself, because it's actually the jury's tribunal. It is someone being tried by their peers, and this is what's wrong with magistrates' courts. The magistrates represent your peers, the jury. Yeah, you're appealing to them. Well, in a jury trial, you're appealing to the jury, and you're appealing to them as humans. It doesn't matter what the law says. What do they as humans think? And they can change the law. This is the real, the one real democratic power where you can have an effect.
And the fact is that the judge is there only as an umpire. That was a nice Freudian slip, wasn't it? He's there as an umpire. He's there to ensure that all voices are heard and heard equally, and that all the facts are properly presented, and that the law is applied. And the law says that basically the jury not only sits as tribunal for the defendant, they're actually tribunal for the law itself. If it's an unjust law, they don't have to accept that a person is guilty to have committed the act. So, there you go.
There you go.
Well, yes, my distraction was taken there for a minute, but, you know, it's a fictitious court, elected by fictitious people, you know, because of our name and the registration. It's all fictitious. You know, it's a Western ideology. It's a white man's fictitious court. So that is the fundamental belief that I bring to the table today, that it's all fictitious. It's an illusion. I will understand no contract. So I hear what you're saying, you know, and it's very easy to get lost in all the information. It's like, oh, yeah. But at the end of the day, the end game is no contract. So that, I suppose, is a stepping stone for me. I can step onto that stone and go, right, I have no contract with nobody. So, yeah, good stuff. Thank you. It is a pleasure to sit at this table and listen to many opinions that seem to be going around the same thing. You know, the government is a corporate entity. The Reserve Bank, the people's funds stolen. You know, and people are dying. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so
Well, on that note, how about I actually jump in and talk about what me and Prajna are actually doing with our lives. Prajna was actually at this before I met him, and I joined him on the road. We've opted out of the structures by which we are supposed to live. And we live by our own volition, by our own rules, by our own laws. We do not accept the imposition of authority from outside forces, from malevolent outside forces who only wish to control and dictate the course of our lives. And we do clash occasionally with the powers that be in the form of the police, biggest armed gang on the streets. And yeah, we have many adventures. I know Prajna's spoken a couple of times about when we lived on the side of the A41 last year, which was, wow, 3 months on the side of the A41 was one hell of an experience. It was intense, fucking hell, really was. And that was because we were stopped on the M53 by the police who'd done an ANPR check, is it? Yeah, and they said, oh, they got no tax, okay, let's stop them. And we had no tax and no MOT. And so they decided to seize our motorhome, which we lived in. And well, we thought, a friend of ours had just died. So we had a week to kind of consider our next move, if you like, because we did not want to jeopardize Lockie's funeral. We wanted to make sure we were at Lockie's funeral. That was really, really important. So that gave us a week. And during that time, we hummed and hawed and chewed things over and decided...
We got ourselves arrested first.
Well, yeah, but I'm drawing the bigger picture, babe. Yeah, we get ourselves arrested from time to time. That happens. Yeah.
Hey, Kelly, I got you.
And yeah, we decided, oh, look, if they're going to take our home from us, we'll make our home on their doorstep. Which is exactly what we did, and we were there 3 months before we were evicted. And next time, I mean, they kept our home and they crushed it. This is the thing, they did destroy our motorhome. So we're in the position now that luckily Prajna, because he's a clever little orange, beautiful man. I do love my Prajna. What was that? I got all distracted looking at you, babe.
You were going to talk about having sorted out some funds and...
Oh, yeah. So, we got the funds together, thanks to Prajna, to actually buy a car and a caravan. The car that we bought, the tax ran out at the end of February. We won't be renewing it, and we will be hitting the road within the next week or two, towing our beautiful new home around with us, going wherever we...
Well, it's not new.
Well, it's new to us, isn't it? And it is a lovely little caravan. It's so cosy. And so, yeah, we'll be off hitting the road. And should the so-called authorities decide to claim authority over us again, then we will do the whole thing again, only we will do it better for experience. But, I mean, I'm not saying that that's something that we want or encourage to happen in any way. What we actually want is to just travel the land, go to festivals, speak, perform, talk on the radio and grow our own food, produce our own energy, and just, have a life with friends that,
and smoke our own weed.
Yeah, grow and smoke our own weed. Well, just actually take complete responsibility for ourselves and our lives, because that's what freedom is. It's responsibility. No mistake about it.
And also, being part of the community, knowing where your food comes from. or I've spoken to someone who has been to where your food has come from. I remember standing in a supermarket and I thought, I want happy eggs, I don't want sad eggs, and just that thought, like Nyrees, you're speaking of permaculture, the benefits of a human hand touching the soil, the chemical transaction is beautiful. So yeah, you can miss out on that beautiful side. Pardon?
It's a symbiotic thing as well, because as well as providing for yourself, you're looking after the planet, because if the planet's not here, then we're not here, are we? So
yeah.
Sorry,
absolutely. No, please do, because I did want to mention it to you before. That beautiful chemical transaction that takes place, and then when that is encased in the thought, when one is present in the moment and you are aware and acknowledge what is happening, I think that's a fully holistic approach to something so basic and simple and inspiring as a human hand touching the soil. So
it is, and to see soil sort of come back to life almost, because in my back garden I haven't dug that since we've been here, which is about 8 years, and it's just completely changed from when we first moved in, and it's really dark. You can just tell when you see the soil, it's alive soil, It's an amazing thing to do.
I remember reading a short story by a woman, she's about 50, and she gathered all the compost. She knew a little bit about composting, what leaves to put in, what not to put in, And her plan was to leave it for 3 years. Anyway, the house, she rented it, and she came back, and the compost was divine. It smelled divine.
It's like magic. I've been composting for years, but I still can't believe when I look at the bottom and it's all turned into. It's amazing. That's the real magic of the world. Things like that.
I spent a lovely, maybe 2-3 weeks, just digging through a garden with a small trowel and breaking up all the clods. Now this earth had all been completely packed, and in fact it ran up against a concrete fence and was building rubble in it and all that kind of thing. And I just went over that whole bed with just a hand trowel and breaking up the clods by hand, and that bed produced the most fabulous stuff, and the experience of just doing that with attention was mind-blowing. It was a fantastic experience, and the garden loved it.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's the love as well, isn't it? We talk about, we know that water has memory and water has consciousness and responds to love and different intentions. And it's, we're 80% water. How much water is in soil? We affect everything on a molecular level and are affected.
That's really weird. Water's become. Sorry, it's all right. No, I was just going off on a tangent, really. Loads of things about water have just suddenly come to me. All of a sudden, everyone's talking about water. It's really weird.
Well, it's wonderful. They're saying that there was water on Mars because of the find of salt, the salt content on Mars. Yeah. And, salt, the more we endeavour. I went to a health food store a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I'm after some sea salt. And she's got, we've got sea salt here. And I went to it, and it was pink salt, which is lake salt. And there was another salt. And I said, no, I'm after sea salt. And she goes, oh, no, there you are. And it's like I had to educate the woman in the health food store about the grades of salt. And it was good. I didn't mind doing it. But, it just never, something as basic as salt that we have traded in for so long, and the benefits of salt, that we have forgotten about salt. Iodized salt is the worst thing you could be putting in your gut, And, to absorb is a very natural, beneficial thing to do. And the more we learn about salt, the relationship that salt has with water. And, yes, it's a wonderful world that we do live in. And I think sometimes we I forget, And I'm fortunate at the moment that I can just sort of sit and go, yeah, it's a pretty beautiful planet, I'm fortunate to be supported by such a lovely planet. So, and not everybody is able to put their hands into soil, that I'm aware of. So, bring it back home, you don't need to have, like, I hear people speak of allotments in some countries, whereas in this country, in Australia, they go, allotment? What would you want an allotment? Because of the vast environment, there's just so much land here that an allotment seems quite foreign. But now as the cities become a little bit more compacted, people are drawn to the cities, it does need to be implemented into the city planning, as a benefit, it needs to be done. So I'm sort of got my ear to the ground for, there are some political activists and people in the government who are aware of that, but they're few and far between, It's, again, when you have companies like Monsanto and DuPont doing their best as utmost to control the basic essentials of food, water and shelter, you're up against quite a force. But as I've been reminded, a mountain is made of pebbles. Each pebble makes up a mountain. So
are you aware of Jeff Lawton, Susan?
Well, not at the moment, no.
Because permaculture, sort of, the term was coined in Australia in the 70s by Bill Mollison and David Hollegren. Jeff Lawton's a really big, I'll sort out the link, the Australian Research Institute.
Oh, for your show, Nyrees.
Yes. Well, I'm
unable to pick up the cast. I'm unable to listen to the radio, Darkcity radio at the moment due to some technical issue which is being looked at by others. But it would be good for at the moment, in about a week's time I'll be able to sort of say hi to some of the people that have come onto Darkcity radio and have shared their knowledge. But water, just going back to water, as we're saying, it's one thing to acknowledge that water does have a memory, and it's quite another to participate with one's thought. And little things, the more knowledge you get, you forget about the little things that you learnt in the beginning. And I'm sort of coming to terms with that one, my thought, if I was, projecting onto water, it sort of brings you back into that single moment of being here and now. And it's a lovely topic to talk about, water, soil, the relationship that we have with water and with soil.
What you were actually saying about salt there, and salt being beneficial when it's absorbed through the skin, I wasn't really aware of that.
Well, your skin is the biggest organ in your body.
When
medication is absorbed now, it's easier for heavy pharmaceutical drugs to be implemented via a skin band aid.
Well, what occurred to me when you were saying that was that, obviously fresh water we need to use for cooking and not for flushing our human waste away, for God's sake. That's a commodity in itself. Use it to make compost.
Well, that's a commodity that could be traded and bought on the stock market, but, we won't go there because...
let's not go there. In fact, let's go as far away from there as we possibly can get.
Well, no, but it can be implemented in small,
No smoking crack, no drinking urine, and no eating your own poop-ups on the Darkcity.
But this is the thought that I had when you were talking about salt being absorbed through the skin, that we should be bathing in the sea then, surely, or using salt water for that purpose.
Well, sea salt, how the salt is mined, where it comes from, and how much it's been filtered. But brown sea salt, to bleach or filter salt, you're taking away the goodness, which is about 90%, 98% when it's bleached white to make it look presentable for the table, which is your iodized table salt. So yeah, it's brown salt, see where it's from. But at the moment they'll charge you exorbitant rates. So, you know, I occasionally said to someone, I want to be a salt farmer. And they said, oh, I think that part of the stock market has already been divvied up and you're a bit late. But, you know, when I see the exorbitant prices that they're charging for a little bag of sea salt, it's like, what? You know, we're surrounded by sea. What is the issue?
Well, actually, the better quality sea salt comes from those areas where the sea no longer is, because the sea is so horribly polluted. So pink Himalayan sea salt and black salt and grey salt, these are the ones that not only...
Well, yes, some pollutants need a fatty hormone to hook onto. You see, in salt, the cleansing benefits of salt, if one wishes to investigate further, are just phenomenal. Phenomenal.
No, go on, Sue.
Yes and no, I hear you. Yes and no, I hear you. That's correct, because the lake salt that is being found on old lake beds, where is it, the Galapagos Islands, you know, they're finding salt there that is so old and it has really old life form, and it's being sustained. They don't have any rain. It's the driest part of the country. You know, on one side of the island, it's wet. It's quite an amazing place. But so the salt is really old, and they've been able to, you know, trace its date. I think it was about 10,000 years old, the salt. And it had a very primitive life form, and it was able to sustain itself inside the salt because the salt absorbed the water. And when it did rain, the salt just sucked it in, and the life form is still sustaining itself now. So,
wow.
I hear you on the pollutants of the ocean, but I have more faith in nature than I do in man-made chemicals. So,
yeah, beautifully said, Susan. Have you heard of diatomaceous earth at all?
Pardon?
Diatomaceous earth. I've got a Scouse accent, so I'm trying to pronounce it in a way you might hear. Earth. Diatomaceous earth, you know, the ground.
No.
Translate, Paul.
What?
Diatomaceous
earth.
Yeah.
I'm a northerner. You know, between
Baby, you're a bit posh, can you say it?
Diatomaceous earth. But you'll need to Google DM. If you Google DM, you'll come up with all kinds of things probably, but you'll probably also come up with diatomaceous earth.
Yeah.
And I've just had a lick of lovely Manuka honey. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. It's nectar.
Once, sorry, I'm hosting, babe.
Yeah,
Susan,
exactly.
Yeah,
I'm busy. Go away. Callie's busy.
So have you heard of it? Have you come across it at all?
No, I haven't. And what is it? What is it, Callie? What is it?
Well, I've only done the tiniest bit of research on it because a friend of mine was telling us about it. A friend of ours was telling us about it. And it turns out it's this microscopic organism, and when it's crushed, it becomes like as fine as flour or talcum powder, or, you know, really, really fine. But it's each grain is an individual little skeleton of something long dead, and it's supposed to, the food grade. Don't get the pool grade diatomaceous earth, because that won't do you any good at all, and it will probably do you lots and lots of harm. You need the food grade. Because the pool grade is used for cleaning pools. You don't want to clean pools. What you want to do is clean your digestive tract. And also, funnily enough...
And lemon is good for doing that as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, you know, Google lemon juice, the health benefits of lemon. So, yeah.
And you can use the diatomaceous earth as well to deflea your cats and dogs and other... co-inhabitants of your home.
I'm building circles with what you're saying. I've got Yogurt, 2 lots of honey, local honey within a 5-mile radius of where I live, Manuka honey, and now I've got my lemon. So just
you guys, you get a gold star.
ingredients.
Kelly, hand out the gold star. I think someone deserves a gold star. Yes, the importance of natural yogurt because of the acidophilus. You know, that again is another miracle worker. So yeah.
It occurred to me over the last, couple of weeks or so. I've been looking at all these posts going up and down my wall on Facebook, and just connecting all the dots, because there's so. Basically, every second post on my wall these days is saying food will cure you of this. Next ingredient that Paul's putting in is some ghee. Yeah, pure butter ghee.
Now let's see. I think there might be coconut milk. Coconut oil.
We will see.
Paul's seeking 2 stars.
Yep, he's going for the coconut milk. But yeah, I mean, when you get right down to it, food is
basic food. Honey, honey to eat honey wherever you go. If you can source local honey from wherever you are in the world, you get all your immune systems. Bang, boom. It's delivered to you via honey. Honey is edible after 2,000 years. Salt is edible after 10,000 years. So basic, knowing what it is you're putting in your gut. Excuse me, Dawn. If I may just have a little rant. Again, I say the story over and over again, and the more I say I was with it, walking into a supermarket store, I couldn't, my skin would start to crawl. I could feel my skin as I'm walking through the aisles, looking at the food, smelling the chemicals, knowing the human transaction in the sale and the purchase of this food and the land, and knowing what it would then do to my body if I was to consume. I really felt it, and like a few other things, I get to a point where I go, right, that's it, I want nothing to do with it. I really don't. I cannot be a part of this, again, guilty by association. But, which led me to sit down to, well, what are the basic foods that I require to sustain myself? And,
Taking responsibility for your own nutrition?
Well, as much as one can, it's easy to point the finger, and I definitely don't point the finger at anybody else but myself. But being a part of, in a little way, just knowing where something that you're consuming comes from, taking the pleasure of going there and going, oh, wow, this is where that comes from. Or taking others. Did you know this is where our eggs come from? This is where the honey comes from. It's a joy. I'm fortunate that I'm able to visit the land where he comes from, and speak to people, and it's a pleasure, Sometimes all these little things just get lost.
What do you guys think about, certain foods with certain health benefits and the locality of them? Because I went to a raw food talk last night that was really interesting, and she'd got all these ingredients, and most of them were imported. I just didn't know how I felt about it, really, because I tend to try and eat food from my locality, So it's a bit of a quandary, really, with importing stuff from miles away,
Well, it is also, and again, being able to source it. Again, I must say that I'm fortunate that I live. I'm in the country where I'm surrounded by people and farmers and land, and to source the food in the city is quite another journey.
Well, I don't know. To focus on things like the dandelions, the one of a favourite of mine, and that's obviously just in the back garden rather than
I think we're not.
Sorry, I was just going to say this lady last night was selling these massive aloe vera leaves. They were amazing. They were huge. But they're from Mexico, they're imported. And I think they must have done something to them, because when she was cutting them, they didn't have any sapping. They only had the inner piece. Anyway, yeah. So, I've been pondering on that today about, whether you should just focus on what's immediately around you, and is that the best thing for you, as opposed to things from elsewhere, nonetheless, that they are good for you, but do you see what I mean? I don't know if I'm putting...
Oh, absolutely. And everything you've said, you know, I'm like sitting here nodding my head going, yeah. So you weren't dosing at all. It was, I hear. So yeah, you know, and you know, then you have the financial constraint that, you know, is the pressure again that's on. So by the time you actually get to consume it,
£10 per aloe vera leaf she was selling them for.
Pardon? Yeah. You know, and not everyone can afford, but like basic things like salt. Pardon?
I was just saying people were buying them, you know, people were happy to buy them.
Yeah, you know, the benefits of a tablespoon of honey for children. And because in Australia there's been such a ill-formed debate surrounding salt, and many experts have gotten up and discussed it, and I've sort of quietly been watching it for a while. I did my own research, and you know, they're saying, "Oh, salt is not good for you." Well, iodized table salt is not good for you. That's correct. You know, 100% correct. What is good for you is sea salt because of the mineral content. It's all been filtered and refined and cooked, and you know, it's of a state that it can be consumed by the body. And again, you know, how you consume the salt as well, because much so many things are put into the gut that it's nice to give the gut a break and, you know, teach the body, the skin, to consume, to eat. That's where, you know, what you put on your skin. From a young age, I was told by my family, if you can't eat it, do not put it on your skin. And I didn't realise there was such truth behind those words. So eggs, you know, I spoke to a lady who was in a drought for 14, 15 years, no water. So they couldn't go down to the river because that was empty. So they were using egg whites. You rub it in your hair, let it dry in the sun. The egg absorbs the fat from the hair. Once it's dried, you brush it out. And she did say her hair was, you know, very clean. So, just bringing. There was a lovely lady we spoke to on another radio station, and she had a heavenly kitchen, cast iron pots, big old country kitchen, knew all the stuff, lemon and new cleaning products, you know, natural, just bringing it back to the basics. So yeah, it's been a joy learning about the food that I put in my belly, or in my mouth, I should say. So, thank you, Nyrees, and thank you, Dawn.
You see, I was listening intently there, Susan, and Paul kept singing and dancing in front of me and everything and distracting me. And I was listening to what you were saying, and I was, you know, formulating all these images in my mind of the descriptions that you were making, and they've all gone now. They all fell off because Paul started singing and dancing. Sorry about that. Yeah, there were so many avenues to explore from that, but yeah, food and nutrition. Paul did want me to say something about local honey. This is the thing about, you can get your honey as locally as possible, and I've looked around and I can get local honey, but I can't get unpasteurized raw honey anywhere.
Which is unpasteurized, which is not heated. That's correct. You do not want heated honey because it's... but see, again, heating honey, you would send that's called hospital-grade honey, where you could feed it to the sick and you could feed it to the elderly because it's been heated. So if you're allergic to a bee sting, therefore it would be... for me, I would say eat pasteurized honey, because all of the things that would stimulate a bee sting reaction, you're best off to have hospital grade honey, which is pasteurized honey. But if you're not allergic to a bee sting, then you're fine to eat unprocessed, unpasteurized honey. And if you don't know if you're allergic to a bee sting, well, you're just going to have to go and sit in a thing of flowers and find out.
Who was that just said all right then?
Don't know.
You don't know? Don't know. Don't know anything. I know nothing.
Must have been an aberration of some sort. But anyway, listen, as you were talking there, Paul was actually on a roll and tuned me at this end, and I thought I've just got to give him the mic for a minute.
If you can't get locally vegetables, fruit vegetables, there's enzymes contained within the first few, first millimetre or so of local root vegetable, which will actually trigger your immune system to the local virus, you could say. That's changing all the time. So if you can get that locally within a 5-mile radius of where you're living, and then that, like I say, that can be really tricky to do, but you can grow, you can do it in a window box. You don't need a lot. It's like medicine. And I treat it like medicine. I really do. Now, look, that can be hard to get, but then you can look at honey within a 25-mile radius of your home. And look, the difference between this, you can go and buy Manuka honey, really good stuff. I've got that. Lidl, had it in cheap. So I bought a load of it. But if you can get those...
Well, do you know...
The local...
Yes,
honey,
Manuka honey is tea tree.
Local honey, yeah, it will beat the more expensive Manuka honey, hands down. Of course, unless you live near the tea tree, as Susan just pointed out, and then that'd be your local honey. So yeah, I'm not saying that Manuka is not good stuff. Yeah, it's great stuff, but it isn't as good as the honey you can get locally, nor our local fruit and veg. If you stop putting the toxins inside your body, then your body won't have to release them. So a lot of the time when you get a bit of a cold or you get the sniffles and stuff, and you go hurling for the Anodine, the paracetamol, the night nurse, day nurse, every other nurse, and you're loading your body with toxins, and that's your body actually trying to release them at that point. It's actually trying to get them out of you. So anyway, that's my 2 pennies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what he said.
Now can I eat my medicine?
Yes.
Go on.
Thank you, girl.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. Go, take it away, Kelly.
Well, no, I wasn't going to take
where are we going? Where are we going?
I wasn't going to take it in any particular direction. I was going to absolutely wing it, but then as I was having that thought, I was also having the thought, well, let's see if Susan's got anything more she wants to say in this particular rabbit hole before we go hurtling headlong into some unknown territory.
Yes, it's all about thought. There's lots of thoughts, lots of things. Things and thoughts in Darkcity Radio. You don't know what the things are, and just pray you're thinking the right thought so you can touch the thing. So yes, I don't know, Kelly. I don't know.
Actually,
it's about things.
Susan, you've just blown my mind there now, Susan.
Wonderful. I like a good blown mind now and again. Go on, Nyrees.
That was all I was going to say, really. I know what I can add in that's just come to me, but it's totally off on a tangent. I did have some friends who came up to see you at Camp Autolift, actually. I was speaking to them the other day. They said to say hi if I spoke to you. Emma and Greg.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Oh, we love Greg and Emma. We love them to bits. And actually listening to you talking to Dawn the other week when you did that interview, it was a lot like being in Emma's company, actually.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Well,
so,
we did. We're really close friends. We did live together for a bit. I think we are quite, we can be quite similar, yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Oh, give them loads of love from us. What are they doing now? Because didn't they go off? They're in Bali, aren't they?
very happy, doing very well, working with Humanitad. Greg's doing law. Emma's, well, they've got the baby as well. Yeah.
We saw...
It's our baby, it's our niece.
Yeah, our niece.
We adopted her.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was about to go down another little rabbit hole, which Susan actually led me on to at the point when she blew your mind.
That's right. I did it. You can blame me today. It's all my fault. There you go. You're all off the hook.
Well, it's just that we are the creators of pretty much, well, absolutely everything we perceive. Everything we perceive is translated inside our consciousness somehow, and it's this it's like a little loop that we're on. Self-expression. Oh, you see.
The good and the bad is all self-expression, but it's not actually the self so much as the ego expressing itself mostly.
Well, I was going to go into the energetic. We are the energetic creators of our own experience, and I don't mean that in any kind of metaphysical way. I mean that actually. I do have difficulty in describing these things sometimes.
It's quite simple. If you walk up to a cop and say, I'm going to box you on the nose, things are going to get out of hand pretty quick.
Yeah.
If you
approach
a different energy, a different attitude, it opens up the realms for all kinds of other possibilities to crystallize out of this huge, infinite number of potentialities that are there. So whatever you've got your attention on, however you expect it to turn out, it either turns out exactly like that or exactly opposite. And this has been...
In other words, the end game.
One of the things you project out there consciously, but an awful lot of them come straight out of your unconscious, and your unconscious was built up with all the indoctrination and all the training and all the influence that you've had throughout your life. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Sarah. Susan, carry on, please.
Yes, Don. Prajna. End game. Yes, well, okay. Kelly, where were we going after this? Because now Prajna's got me thinking about something else. Like Nyrees, I was off on a tangent. Nyrees, it's all right. You're not on your own. I'm doing it too. Kelly, where are we going? Actually, can I just say, if I may, Dawn, I want to know what you're doing, because Dawn from Dark City is doing things. I want to know what you're doing. What are you doing, Dawn?
Wow. Well, I'm multitasking at the moment and allowing you to have a good chat, basically, which is what you were doing. So I was listening and I was in the chat just having a look to see if anybody was asking anything, and I'm also trying to, on my Facebook, trying to look for guests for next week, basically. So yeah, I'm doing multiple things at the moment, and thank you for putting me on spot. I'll have to pay you back sometime. No, I was just being facetious there, but yeah, that sums it up. So has anybody else got anything to contribute?
Yes.
Or you want to start something like?
I have. If you look at the website, in the archives section, in the latest archives, you'll see a torrent download of Dawn's show. Click on it. That's it.
Or even better, right click on it.
Okay, so how the torrent works. Okay, so we go first of all to the Darkcity page at darkcityradio.com. And then...
Click on archives.
Click on archives.
Click on archives.
And then click on the green button.
Click on the green button.
If you can't do torrents, there's an MP3 download there to save you bandwidth rather than downloading a video. If that's easier for you, we'll put it there. I'll put it there.
Yeah, your radio station. Beautiful, thank you, Jim. Right, how long have we got? Let's see. I'm on Windows, so we've still got half an hour. What are we going to talk about for half an hour, ladies?
Well, we've covered quite a lot of things actually. We've covered the food, we've covered the organic GMO stuff, we've covered eating shite, and if anybody else has any ideas at the moment other than those subjects.
See, Dawn is always doing things. Dawn from Darkcity Radio.
I'm always doing it. I'm a multitasker.
Indeed.
Sometimes it works in my favour. Sometimes it works in my favour. Other times it totally doesn't. Yeah, I'm only human, so.
So stay tuned. So there's more things, lots of things coming from Dawn at Darkcity and the crew at Darkcity Radio. There's always something.
Sorry, Dan Bidondi's coming on Tuesday the 20th. It's not Sunday, it's Tuesday the 26th of March at 9 p.m. GMT till, well, basically we've kind of left it wide open, so we'll see.
So for those people who actually thought they missed it, who came on last night and into chat, it's good news.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not till the 26th, so pencil that in your diaries, folks.
But we'll spam it everywhere before date anyway, so yeah. I'm just being directed. I'm going to have to put a mouse all the way on this monitor, all the way over here. I have to click on that. I have to click on there, yeah? Yeah. And, okay, all right. So, folks, if we've got a page of guests, upcoming and current guests and things like that. So if you go to Darkcity Radio website and then click on the top menu bar there, click on guests, and it will open up a page with featured guests or all guests and all kinds of links and contact info and things like that on there. That's brilliant, you've done that.
Robohippy.
Oh, fucking hell.
You didn't think of it like, you just put it together.
Well, it's beautifully done. It's really nicely arranged.
And we don't censor.
Thank you.
We don't censor. You can swear on the radio as well. Fuck shit.
When myself and Prajna turned up here today, our sat-nav had taken us around the corner and we were a little bit lost. And Robo just happened to be driving past right there.
Synchronicity, it definitely was.
Yeah, it was. And he spotted Prajna, all in orange, because Prajna's all in orange. And so, yeah, brought us here. And he looked so tired as well. And I'm understanding why. I'm seeing the amount of work. Because usually when we're at home, Prajna sort of has the controls of the conversation and all of that. And I just sort of, jump in and say stuff. I haven't seen this website in its entirety, and when I first did see it, it was just a couple of little links and a couple of things on the home page, and that was it. And it's an amazing job that you've done.
When she first sat down here, there's 3 monitors, 19-inch monitors she's looking at. I said, that's the server. Sudram's looking after that. You don't need to worry about that one. That's the auxiliary server. That's kind of running in the background in case. And she kind of looked round at me, and then she went, I'm just going to touch this. And pointing to the Skybox. So yeah, she was really dropped in the hot seat. Really was. She came over, she said, blah, 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 and I just got and said, go on then, sit down, you do it. So yeah, well, fair play. Fair play, you were dropped in the deep end and you've done great.
Well, I did drop myself in it, but I just thought that you needed a break, so.
I've made 2 brews since then.
And now?
And now I'm making food.
Wow, it just doesn't stop. I've noticed as well, you know what, he jumps up and he gets the mop out in between fixing servers and rebuilding and, all that sort of stuff.
He sit down for 2 seconds, but he wants his hair braided. Now that's the chance to chill out.
Yeah, he'll have no choice but to sit still.
I just have to sit and sit.
Yeah.
You go into that zone like when you're getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
there's a zone you can go into. You know, people don't go into the zone enough. There are lots of different ways to get into it, and you need to.
Yeah.
Right, so my little orange friend, I've been living in it now for several years. It's a lovely place to be. Don't tell anybody. Cut all that out. Cut all that out. I don't want people to know that. I really want people to know that the world change.
How do you get is that Paul works 26.5 hours a day, yeah, and still manages to squeeze in half a kick.
Precious.
And eat occasionally.
And eat. And garden. Well, ponic. You ponic, don't you?
Yes, permaculture.
You ponic, don't you?
I do, I ponic.
You ponic, yes.
On top of
everything else.
There's not a lot actually growing in it at the moment, the hydroponics, because of the winter and stuff. But the covering plants, the ones that make it look nice, they carry on working all the way through it.
And the fish are lovely.
Yeah, the fish are really healthy.
And that's a good sign.
Lovely clean water.
It's always a good sign. Water to the fish is like their immune system.
Yeah, it's the air.
Yeah. It's like the air to us, that's right. And if you've got good water, you'll have healthy fish. That's why within a lot of aquaponics, and they're that crammed in, and the water quality drops. That's why they have to give them antibiotics.
And that's the fish farming and yeah. Aquaculture, yeah. Not aquaponics, which is the closed loop system whereby the waste from the fish living in the little pond actually cycles around and provides nutrients for the plants growing in the trays above it and around it. That's it.
Pretty much, you need to have an area which is a bacterial bed. Fish
like your gravel then, is that?
That can be the gravel. In a fish tank, in a traditional fish tank, you used to have under gravel filters. And it works there, you'd have an air stone, so it's aerating it.
Yeah.
The most efficient way to get yourself a growing medium and create the bacterial bed, so it's a home for the bacteria, is an ebb and flow system, one that rises up and then empties quickly.
Okay.
As the empties,
like a tide? Mimic a tide?
A bit like a tide, yeah. But more like a flushing toilet, like a cistern in a toilet.
Okay.
It fills slowly.
Quickly?
It fills slowly and empties that fast.
Right.
Quicker you can get it to empty, because as it empties, the water pulls fresh oxygen down in through the medium.
Yeah, lots of pressure.
And as it slowly fills up, it's producing the nutrients.
All right, yeah.
No,
so it's like a composting process, really, isn't it? You're composting slowly, and then you just stick
very
it
much
in
like
there.
it. Very much like it. But the weird thing is the actual bacteria, like what you're required. You put a system in and just let it run, and they'll turn up. If you can get a culture, you can get a culture.
But they'll naturally develop.
Yeah, they'll naturally develop. Mine and these are naturally developed outside, and from these here now, there's loads gone out. You know, you can accelerate it. It takes about 2-3 years.
So do you just share the water? Do you give someone
No, yeah. I have a filter, just a pre-filter, just at the front of the tank. And I empty the pre-filter out and give them the pre-filter. You mix that pre-filter throughout the bed, and that's putting literally a culture in, just like you would with yogurts or
mushrooms.
Mushrooms is a brilliant example.
Yeah.
So there's two main kinds of bacteria in there: Spirosamora and Spirogyra. You can't. Spirogyra is the most common one. That's the one that does all the work. Spirosamora comes first. Spiralbacter. There you go. It's actually written wrong in most of the books. It was found in the United States and correctly identified, but in a lot of the books in the UK and the West, they've got the wrong bacteria down. One basically converts your ammonia, starts to break down your ammonias into nitrite, and then the second lot breaks the nitrite into nitrate. May have that the wrong way around, it's been a while. And nitrate's what your plants feed.
Yeah.
So there you go, it's that simple.
Yeah, and it's a closed loop system, this is the thing.
Yeah, well, it's built, the idea is, and the name itself comes from hydroponics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and aqua comes from aquaculture, fish farming. Yeah. So that's what you're doing. You're putting both. You're connecting the ends up.
You're losing the waste and gathering up the best.
Yeah.
So you're getting rid of the waste from the hydro.
For chemical fertilizers for hydroponics, there is no. The problem with organic recirculative systems for hydroponics is they ferment. That's the problem. So the chemically produced ones don't. So they're actually better for growing in hydroponics recirculative systems.
But then there's all that wastewater.
Now some people, I can hear pens going already and people going, oh! You can go flood to waste to drain, using organic, and that is not an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not an issue. But when you go flood to drain with chemicals, then the heavy nitrates end up in the water table. That's the issue. So although hydro is really good in its place, aquaponics is the only organic way.
Yeah,
there is no hydroponics.
There's no waste.
Well, there's a bit of a con. People think if they get an hydroponic, it's organic.
Oh, it's not.
It's organic. They're not organic.
Yeah,
they're not organic. They're grown in
chemicals. Chemicals.
Now, really, they come from the earth.
Well,
they come from the earth. So I have a bit of an issue with organic. I really do. I think, well, hang on a minute. Well, if it comes from off the planet, okay, then
out of the muck.
It's not organic. For me, if it comes off Earth, it's organic.
Yeah, comes out of the muck.
Well, whichever way, it comes out of oil.
Well, yeah. But it's the processes of synthesizing. Using the oil is maybe one thing that can describe that as organic. But when that oil is then processed into synthesizations, synthetic imitations of natural organic products. That's really
it's like a fashion statement in a way, isn't it? It kind of comes round, doesn't it? We get like, in the 60s, nylon! All the women walking around in like, nowadays we'd laugh our heads off. I wonder, why are you walking around in a nylon shirt?
There's pools of sweat
and people kind of, for me anyway, they kind of wise up a bit. We are, like Dick said earlier on, we're pretty dumb really when it comes to it. Right? Across the board, we are like, we're so intelligent. We're probably the least intelligent species on Earth. So we kind of work it out. We work it out. The stuff that's been kicking around since the 50s, and it's still kicking around. And people, and perhaps in another 50 years' time, I don't know, I'll be looking around at stuff at this generation, it'll still be about.
Yeah. But this is it,
it's like the internet. People are born about the internet. They go mad about it. It's getting so... Well, it hasn't really changed.
No, it's
not really changed. It's just the way we access it.
Yeah. We learn to use our tools. We learn to use them better and better the more that we use them.
We learn to subvert them.
Yes. I was going to go somewhere. It was going to be great, but... it might come back to me. What's the time? I would like to get back to somewhere I was going to. We've got plenty of time anyway, so it will come back to me. I'm sure.
How long's plenty of time, Kelly?
There's a great thread on Freeman on the Land forum at the moment, and it's called what's the title of this thread?
Do you mean FMOTL, babe?
Yep.
FMOTL.com
/forum. Yeah, and if you find a thread on there called Parliament of Great Britain Limited Power. Parliament of Great Britain Limited Power. And that's a monster, wonderful thread because it quotes a whole lot of law that will set you free. It tells you all kinds of law cases that say you're to be able to travel without let and hindrance. That the government can't change the constitution because they draw their power from the constitution, and therefore they can cut their own foundation out from under their feet. So it can't be done, and all kinds of things like this, and all the law to back it up. And some of it's really quite recent.
The thing about constitution, this is one of my pet subjects. The thing about a constitution is it's what's used to actually formulate, if you like, the nation state, because the nation state is a legal fiction. It does not exist in reality in any perspective of reality. It does not exist. You know what I mean? It's a fiction. It only exists because it is written down somewhere, and these terms of constituting a nation state are agreed to by the constituents of that nation state. Now, without a constitution, there is no nation state, there is no government, there is no monarchy, no constitutional monarchy. So that basically, that nullifies everything. Now, in this country specifically, we do not have a constitution that has been codified in one single document. It is said to be codified in initially 3 documents. The Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights, the Act of Union are said to be the 3 documents which underpin the Constitution, the power of which has been handed to or taken by Parliament, right? So we've got these 3 documents. And then we've suddenly got this thing whereby Parliament rules. Parliament then, during this rule, grants itself parliamentary sovereignty, i.e. they are the supreme decision makers, the supreme lawmakers of the land. They grant themselves sovereignty. That is entirely unconstitutional. They say that because Parliament is the highest lawmaker on the land, that everything they say and do is constitutional. Everything they act is constitutional because they say it's constitutional. And another thing, first of all, Parliament grant themselves sovereignty, which is just, yeah, okay, we've done that. Then, during Tony Blair's stint at number 10, the power was shifted from Parliament to Cabinet. I think a process that had been started by Thatcher but was continued and crystallised by Tony Blair. And from there, he then began to absorb the power into the hands of the Prime Minister, which is currently being crystallised and solidified by Cameron. They have authority because they say they have authority. Absolutely no other reason from that. They say that this is a legal construct, and yet when we look at the papers which are supposed to enshrine this within the legal system, we find that they have absolutely no authority to claim authority, which of course makes total sense, because how could that ever be? And yet we allowed it to happen, or somehow it was allowed to happen. You know, sorry, I got on a soapbox, didn't I? Paul's doing a song and a dance. Please just speak up, Paul.
No, you were good.
Rant out.
You were brilliant.
All right, okay.
It was good. It was informative. I was learning stuff, you know. I've got lemon juice in a cut in my finger.
I've forgotten where I began that rant from.
Constitutional.
Oh, your thread, the thread that you're reading on Freeman on the Land forums at the moment. This is why it's important, because this country has no constitution. The nation state, which claims authority over every one of us, does not exist, not even in their own terms. It does not exist, okay? It's fiction. In fact, it's fiction upon fiction upon fiction.
Well, that's correct, Kelly, because where does the money come to pay the wages for these people? It comes from the Reserve Bank. The Reserve Bank is now a corporate entity. So all the bills for all these people that are politicians or whatever comes from that Treasury, which is no longer a public entity, is now a corporate entity. So you're right. Yep. Take it away, Kelly. I'm right behind you.
Right.
Don't stop. I'll run up the back here. Whoa. Oh, Kelly.
Sorry, Paul?
Isn't the Bible another book? It sounded very similar to what you were saying. It sounded very similar to what you find in the Bible and what you find in other religious structures.
The fiction upon which the fiction has been built and constructed.
The illusion built.
Yeah,
Delusion.
I mean,
delusion.
It just goes so deep, and it applies on so many different levels. And yet we can go back to the religious books that actually they claim to be the foundation of their right to rule, or whatever the fuck it is the mass delusion is claiming. But yeah, I would
I some days
encourage people to, if not go to the Freeman on the Land forum and actually look at that particular thread, do some research into what constitution is, what is a nation state, what's this thing that claims authority over it. Do some research, get interested, because as soon as you find out, and I mean for yourself, because just listening to me, that's nothing, that I could be spouting a load of shite. You don't know that, you know, so do a bit of research. And as soon as you know for yourself, then you are empowered to say, fuck that, I'm not playing, you know.
Another thing that you might like to do is to have a look and find out what an indigenous person is. And then go and have a look, and you'll find a wonderful document called the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Have a look through that and see what the responsibilities of the state are towards indigenous people, and see that indigenous people have no responsibilities at all towards the state. And then ask yourself why, if it is so that indigenous people have all these rights, is it not so that everybody on the whole planet has all these same rights that are guaranteed by the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People?
I would agree to some extent, however, because it is a beautiful document, as is the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, a beautiful document. But the fact is that these people who claim authority over us, including the United Nations, do not live by the codes within those documents, and they do not apply them where they do not want to apply them. Take a look at Brazil, for example, and this massive dam structure that's being put in place. Indigenous peoples are being ripped from their land, literally. By the stroke of a pen, they were said not to exist, never to have existed there, and now they're being pulled off their land, so that a huge part of the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest, can be flooded. So these bits of paper, and much as we should know their content, mean nothing to those people. Sorry, Susan, go on.
Excuse me, Kelly, I do get a bit sort of, what's the word, passionate? Yeah, the flooding of rainforests. You know, that is something that people can stand up for, but it's hard. They did in Australia, and I'm so glad that the people before me did stand up and they stopped the flooding of the Daintree rainforest. I'm just so thankful to those people who risked their lives, you know, went without. It was years years of protesting, but it was worth it, and I say thank you to them. So yeah, the flooding of rainforests, you know, and dear Monsanto, can we just say, hello Monsanto, we love you, and we love what you're doing to the Seed World Bank, and we love you, Monsanto, we do, okay? But seriously, Monsanto, you've had your fun, it's time to stop. We say no contract to Monsanto. No contract. Thank you.
Yeah, no contract, return to sender.
We ain't buying your poison.
Yes.
Yeah, we'd rather grow our own. Yeah, that's it, done. Thank you.
GM a go-go.
Thank you.
GM a go-go, yeah. Now this.
While we're on the subject of Monsanto.
Go, Dawn.
Yeah, Ceres, you know, are like the British version, basically. And they are owned, well, Rothschilds through their Ambergate Trust are listed as one of the principal investors of Ceres. There's several, and funnily enough, Monsanto actually is one of the principal investors of Ceres as well. So,
well,
that's some fishy going on there because it, yeah.
Right, Dawn, because it's been prophesied that 3 companies will own the seeds to the world and will hold the world for ransom. That was prophesied about 30 years ago. I kept thinking, no, but here we are. So thank you, Dawn, you're right. So it's quite an illustrious history that Monsanto has painted and blatantly painted and is prepared to stop at nothing to implement it. I myself was party to Monsanto's implementation into Australia, saw what I saw, didn't like what I saw, and it was exit stage left for me. So no contract again. So I hear you, Dawn. Please, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's really all I wanted to say.
Well, naturally, I do a lot of research. You need to know I've been digging into this stuff for so long and on so many levels, and so yeah, I've got something to say about Monsanto as well.
I've been to Monsanto.
Have you?
Well, in Portugal, yeah, there's a place called Monsanto in Portugal.
Well, that's nice cup of tea. Monsanto's agenda, their stated agenda, is to have complete control over all of the food on the planet. That is their stated goal, and if they control all of the food on the planet, they control all of the people, all of the animals, all of the resources, all of the wealth of the planet.
And the Rothschilds are buying up all the water supplies as well, and all the land that has water on. You know,
well, let's take that back to the fiction, because that's really important, babe. These huge organisations are using these massive debts which they're laying on the people to buy the very existential needs of the people and withhold them from the people. Now, they're using a fiction, first of all, money. It's a piece of paper. You can't eat it. It doesn't grow on trees. Food grows on trees. You can eat food. You know what I mean? It's a fiction. The land, the water, all of the resources of this planet cannot be owned. How can they be? You know, we're going to all pop our clocks. They can't be owned by anyone. And let's just remember that and act accordingly.
I'll swap you the entire planet for a turkey.
All right, then.
It worked for the Americans.
Well, that's because they were using a fiction. They were using this
real turkey. You'd think you'd give them the turkey, wouldn't you? I mean, come on, the deal's a deal, isn't it?
Yeah, where's the turkey?
We have your land, you have the turkey.
And they didn't even get the turkey.
It was their turkey. It was their turkey. Yeah, it was their own turkey. You can't. They just laughed and went, all right then.
That's exactly what they do to us now, and it's all just fucking. I mean, it's mental. It is entirely Fruit Loop, isn't it?
Yep.
And yeah, we sit back and we just go along with it as if it's normal. Well, until we don't anymore. And it is time. It is time, people, just to stop, you know.
I got woke up by turkeys.
Did you?
Yeah, I used to live in Wisconsin, and every morning 20 turkeys would pass my window and wake me up.
Wow.
So if you want to wake up, get turkeys.
Yeah, cool story. Right, we've got 7 minutes left, so I'm gonna go. I'm first of all gonna go around the room in this room, and then I'm gonna go around Skype and see if anyone's got anything they want to say before we say good night. Jim, Robo, anything you want to add?
Well, that about sums that up. Welcome to the funny farm.
No, just that. As much fun as it is doing the show, after the show I get to talk to Dan, who's a Linux god, so we can do geek speak stuff, that kind of things. That would just bore the living shit out of most people. You know? And Robo and I have hardly had a chance to plot and scheme and explain the difference between multicasting and fucking simulcasting and all kinds of other weird shit that could actually help this radio to grow up and well let.
Yeah.
So that Paul, your turn.
No, it's not.
It's not. All right, we're going around the circle.
It's like dealing cards. That's how I'm doing it.
Okay, Dan gets his comeback.
No, it's I don't know if any of you guys said this, but I heard that Monsanto had banned GM foodstuffs from their own canteens.
I have read that somewhere. Yeah.
It's just, talk about lack of dog fooding.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, guys. You can't.
One of these days we're going to have to start talking through the whole GMO process and how it works. We ain't going to do it in 7 minutes, I can tell you. It will scare the living shit out of you, but people say, they just think GMO, there's bad stuff about it. But until you understand the science of how it's done, it can be easily explained. Until you understand the science of how it's done, you don't begin to imagine the danger that GMO is. So one of these days we'll do a show just about GMO.
Yeah.
And then it will go for sure.
Okay.
We love you, GMO.
GMO go. Paul, he's in the kitchen again. Any final words before we say good night?
I don't do final.
Any farewell salutations?
No, I don't do farewells.
Okay, anything you would like to say?
Word casting at me again. Anything I would like to say? Celebration. There's a word. Celebration. Try and have a little bit.
If you're not having fun with it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well,
do you know that?
It's easy. Like from where I am now. It's easy. But not everybody's in the position I'm in. It's not so long ago where I wasn't surrounded by, creative, beautiful people. I wasn't. And I know there's people who aren't now. Yeah. And it can be difficult. It can. So, creativity. Celebrate. Put a bit of celebrate.
Yeah, because that's how we create what it is we want to experience as well.
Well, maybe so. That was my bit. The word was.
Right.
Tonight's Darkcity, don't worry about it, something fell off. Tonight's Darkcity was brought to you by the number 3 of the word celebration. The boss stuff.
We haven't even.
It's coming. It is quite soon.
Right. Susan, anything you'd like to say before we go?
I'd like to say that, it's been great. It's a pleasure being here. The little things that I'm sure will be spoken of in Darkcity Radio in future times. It's great to be back. I took a bit of a break for a while, so it's good to be back. And I think anything that I've forgotten, I'm sure that Dawn from Darkcity Radio will let it be known. And thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Callie. Don't know if Nyrees is here. Thank you, Nyrees. And it was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Dawn.
Yeah, been a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thanks to all the crew.
Dawn, go on, love.
Thanks to all the crew for listening. Screwed that up, so I'll start again. Thanks to all the listeners for tuning in, and for the wonderful crew that we have at Dark City Radio. And it's been a great show, and I've had a good time, and I've kind of chilled out, and now I'm going to take it over to Callie again to introduce the next person to say good night.
Good night, Dawn. Thank you. Nyrees, are you there, honey?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Anything you want to throw in, babe?
Well, I just really like people to get in touch with me, about what sort of permaculture subjects they want to hear about, because I really want to sort of,
Do you want to plug your show on Friday while you're there? Have we lost
Good idea.
Yeah. Just, I want to, give people stuff they're interested in. So please, everyone, let me know what kind of things you want to hear about. That'd be lovely. And keep planting the seeds. That's I've decided. That's my catchphrase. That's what I'm going to finish off with. Keep planting the seeds.
And what about your? Sorry, Nyrees. I was just going to get you to plug your show on Friday. This is what Nyrees wants your questions for and your topics for. She's beginning a show on Friday, but I don't know the time or anything. So over to you, honey.
Yeah, 9 till 10 GMT. So, yeah, I'll be there. So, yeah, give me some subjects, give me something to cover, and I'll supply it.
So what have you got for the show? What have you got planned for your first show, Nyrees?
Well, I've been talking to a couple of girls from up in Southampton, in the permaculture network there, and the one girl I know is involved in transition towns. No, that's quite an interesting topic on various levels for people. So I'm hoping, I heard from her and then I haven't heard from her, so I'm trying to catch up with her now. So
I'm involved in transition towns. I'll be in on that. I got lots to say.
Well, you come on with me. You come on with me if you want, because I am a bit nervous. So.
I'll be happy to. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. I'll chase her some more then.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll talk before then.
Cool.
Paul's waving his hands about and he's got the microphone. It's 23 o'clock, people, and we have to say goodnight. I'm sorry we didn't get to say, to find out if Sudama wanted any final words.
Oh, came in now.
Get in now, quick. Are you there? Sudama? Nah.
Guess that's a no then. Passed out on his keyboard.
He may have passed out. He's been there a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been producing tonight and today and learning the ropes and stuff, so nice one. And that's it until next time, from the Dark City crew on the Dark City Show. Good night.
Things, yes, lots and lots of different things. There's chat, there's music, diversity, an occasional argument, for the warmongers.